Welcome to On the X. My guest today is Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Coach Harbaugh has rebuilt programs at every level of football. At Stanford, he turned a 1-11 team into a 12-1 Orange Bowl champion. With the San Francisco 49ers, he led the team to 3 straight NFC championship games and a Super Bowl appearance. At his alma mater, the University of Michigan, he won the 2023 national championship with a perfect 15-0 season. Before any of that, he was an All-American quarterback at Michigan under Bo Schembechler and a 15-year NFL pro. He's also the co-author of 2 books, Enthusiasm Unknown to Mankind and Rise Again, which capture the family philosophy he's lived by his entire career. Attack each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. So here we go with Coach Jim Harbaugh on the X. Stop at an hour, right? You're a busy man. I'm going to assume I got to wrap it up.
You let 30 minutes?
30 minutes. Okay. We got 30 minutes with you. Okay. We'll go fast.
Okay.
I will say I wore this color shirt just for you today. So
hold up.
Yeah. And just the last thing on that, just for the kind of the background is, just personally, I never played football, but I absolutely love the NFL. And I like Sundays during the NFL season is like some of the best time for me. Specifically, I've got a group of close friends, and like Sundays is the day where they all come over. I've got like a community center with a hot tub and all that kind of stuff. We'll do that. We'll hit the sauna and then we'll watch games. And in that group, there's a hardcore Chargers fan. There's a hardcore Patriots fan. And then I'm somewhere in the middle of those guys. So I grew up in Boston. So Patriots is kind of still near and dear to me, but I lived in San Diego for about 5 years when I was in the teams right down the street from Qualcomm. And so the Chargers became kind of my second team. So I kind of go back and forth between the two of those guys. So it's,
I lived when I played for the Chargers. I lived in Coronado.
Yeah.
So I could see the guys all the time. They'd be doing their buds training and visited the base just last summer and met one of the commanders.
Oh, nice.
And I got a great tour. And Justin Herbert went and Derwin James. Just amazing, incredible stuff.
Did they let him do? Did they let him do the O course? Or would you even allow that? You probably wouldn't even allow that.
Oh, no, we didn't. We didn't do any courses or anything.
Okay.
But we saw the facility. They had brand new facilities. It was tremendous. Met some of the SEALs and the young people were, they were chopping it up pretty good. And Derwin and Justin and it was just seeing some of the history and it was an incredible experience.
Nice.
And living there, I've kept a house there too since 1999. So
that was a good move. That was a good move from an investment perspective, if nothing else.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was good.
All right. Well, let's kind of get into things then, especially since your time is so limited. So, there's a bunch of, I have so many questions to ask you. So hopefully we can get to the best stuff. But I think I just wanted to start with just for you kind of like coming up. I know that Bo Schembechler was a big influence on you just in terms of like your philosophy and kind of all that stuff. I'm curious what specifically it was about him. And was it a big impact on you as a player, as a coach, as both? Did you look at him that way?
I sure did. My dad coached at Michigan and it was on the staff for Bo Schembechler from 1973 to 1979. So my first experience with Coach Schembechler was our dad's got a job. We got a roof over our head and and food, and we get to be around this great Michigan program. He was just larger than life. And then babysat, and I see his son Shemmy when he was growing up, and then ended up playing for Coach Schembechler at Michigan when I was a student athlete and quarterback. And then I coached at Michigan, long after my playing days. But that the foundation, the principles, what did I learn? It'd be so many things. The importance of the team. He had a famous mantra, the team, the team, the team. And that message, has been, has resonated and been pounded into my head, my soul, since I was 9 years old. And, a bunch of things, that, my dad, Jack Harbaugh, I would call, the greatest coaching influence, that I've had. He and my mom, everything I've learned has come from those two. Everything and the things I learned on my own or from other people were things that my parents told me that I just maybe didn't hear quite right at the time or thought I knew better, but came to realize that pretty much everything, they said was the way to go. I mean, almost to the point it'd be like, that scene in My Cousin Vinny at the end of the movie where they're driving off and Marissa Tomei said, they couldn't get married because he hasn't won a case on his own. He got help. Oh my God. If you just got help, and you won every case, how horrible that would be. That's pretty much what I've learned when it comes to, my mom and dad, Jack and Jackie. Just listen to them, do what they learned me to do, what they told me to do, when they told me to do it, how they told me to do it. And things just keep working out and keep having success. So, that's, and Bo, and I'd say Bo Schembechler, want to talk Bo Schembechler? Right there, right there under Jack Harbaugh, like really, a second dad. He was, like a father when I was, at college and then years after, playing and coaching, he was somebody that I could always go to for, advice. And, that was, incredible to have those kind of mentors, and then Mike Ditka. Then I had Mike Ditka as a coach. Iron Mike Ditka was, just these legends, Jack Harbaugh, Bo Schembechler, Mike Ditka, Lindy Infante. I worked for Al Davis. So, I don't know what you call it. Lucky to, have those kind of mentors in my life.
You're famous for saying principles are set in stone, methods can change. What are those principles to you?
I believe that. I don't know if I said that. I don't know if I can,
I know you believe it.
I don't know if I can take credit for that one, but yeah, I agree. I agree. I cannot disagree with that.
And do you have those listed out? Are there specific principles, and what are those for you? And do you rank them too? Is it like this is the number one thing and this is the second thing?
I do. The principles: faith, family, football.
Okay.
Those are and calm priorities. Those are the priorities: faith, family, and football. On
the coaching thing, growing up too, you were obviously a player for a long time. Were you always thinking that you wanted to be a coach too? Or was that something later in life was it always like, I also want to be a coach at some point?
Yeah. I crossed my heart. This is a true story. And I had just started. It was like first day of first grade. So I'd already been to school. I'd been to kindergarten and stuff. But I remember we were living in Bowling Green, Ohio. My dad's coaching Bowling Green State University, where he played, and my mom was a cheerleader there. But like, I would take that bus, and I would pretend that I was one of the players, getting off on the bus, to go into the stadium, just like I'd seen the players at the BGSU and the coaches. And sometimes I was the player. Sometimes I was the coach, in my own mind, in my own, like my dreams, and I can vividly remember thinking to myself, yeah, I know what I'm going to do when I grow up, because kids were asking that. Sometimes teachers ask that. I'm going to play as long as I can, then coach, then die. That is that's that's my life plan. And it's just incredible that things have worked out in that order. And the dreams are really God, they were pretty. I remember being, so lofty growing up.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, my dad and mom, wherever we live, whether it's Bowling Green, Iowa City, Iowa, Ann Arbor, Michigan, he had a basement. We always had a basement, and in that basement, there was pictures of him when he played, my mom cheerleading, teams that my dad coached. He had this one team picture when he was in college, and it'd be some, some of the All-Americans that he coached were up on this wall and pictures and autographed baseball, from Gates Brown, who my dad grew up with and stuff. And the amount of time I spent just in that basement looking at those pictures or those jerseys and, dreaming that, someday that's going to be my jersey is going to be up there. And now you walk in that basement. There's a Super Bowl trophy replica that from my brother at the Ravens, game jerseys, Jim Harbaugh, Chicago Bears, Harbaugh on the back of it, Colts jersey, different kind of, team pictures, a national championship trophy. It just, I was just there. A couple of weeks ago in that basement. And that's my only thought was like, I got to get a Super Bowl trophy. This basement needs needs a Chargers Lombardi trophy, so just that same kind of burning passion to to measure up, to be basement worthy. It's something I pretty much my whole life has driven me. I know that's a lot there. Yeah, probably more than you wanted.
That's great. That's great
from that simple question. But
if you had to pick one, player or coach, which one would you pick?
I would pick player.
Okay.
I would pick player every day.
Okay. Fair enough.
What's the expression? Every day and twice on Sunday?
Yep.
Playing.
Okay.
Playing is the absolute greatest thing. And why? Because of the competition. That's what I love. Am I man enough? Am I man enough to measure up? And even the days I knew I wasn't as good, boy, still wanted to try to close that gap or, just, do everything I could to help my team win, anything and everything I could. And coaching second best. Coaching second best because you still
and dying is third best, right?
Still compete. Yeah, we don't have to. The dying part, I'm glad that. Hopefully that's not for a while.
Right. Yeah. For all of us.
I'm trying to get 3.5 more decades. I'd be happy.
Yeah, that's a good goal to shoot for.
If I can get to 100, that's my goal when it comes to when I die.
Just on coaching philosophy, I know you've talked about kind of like the place of real brotherhood is built is kind of in the locker room. Can you just unpack that a little bit? Like, what does that mean exactly? Like, is there a specific location? Is it? And I know you're sort of famous as well for really turning the team over to the players, which I love. How do you go about doing that, and where do you draw the line too? Because that's got to be different with an NFL team versus a college team, right? You're still, there's got to be some differences between those groups.
Yeah. Semantics. That turn it over to the players. Empower them. Maybe.
Yeah. Empower them. There,
we do it together. It's together. It's together. We're attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind together. Same exactly that you would do in a family, in a marriage, attacking each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind together. That's what resonates with me when you say that. The first part, what was the first part of your question?
Just about the locker room, the brotherhood is built in the locker room.
No, you know it. You know it even better than we do.
Of course.
It is a brother in arms. look up that definition. I've looked it up before.
Yeah.
I mean, toil, the blood, the sweat, together for, a common cause. I mean, that you're fighting together. Your missions are, life or death, ours are not life and death, but, it sure feels that way. It feels that way when you're, playing those games. That's how much those games matter, to the collective group. So that's the whatever that definition of a brother in arms. That's what it is, and they become like your brothers. And I've even said it that way. We played my brother in the Super Bowl when I was with the 49ers, and I mean, that's my blood brother, over there. But now for this game, these guys are my brothers. And I would do anything for my brother. My brother's my best friend. I love my brother. I would lay down my life for my brother, but I would not let him win a football game. Today, these are my brothers. And the same with the players I coach. I mean, they're like, I'm at the age now where they're like, they're like sons. They're like beloved sons. And I don't treat my players that I coach any differently than I treat the kids at home. And got seven wonderful children, and I don't treat the 7 children at home any different than the players that I coach. And it is that is the relationship, coach to player. It's really father to son, professor to student. It's certainly not king to subject. So if that's where we're doing it together. I mean, long way of saying work together, win together. That's what we're doing. And you're just doing anything. What does that look like? That means I'm in this position, doing anything and everything I can to, to make my, kids at home realize, their dreams, their hopes. Same for the players that I coach, just doing anything and everything, overarching to be the best version of themselves on and off the football field.
What does anything change though at the different levels for you? I mean, obviously you've been super successful at the collegiate level, at the professional level. Do things change between those two levels in terms of your style or anything like that? Or even you mentioned kids, like you think of people like me, right? People listening to this, most of us will never be a collegiate coach or a professional coach or anything like that, but we coach our kids at whatever sport that they do. And so like, even at that level, like, talking to those people, what do you tell them in terms of just things that apply everywhere, but things that may have to change as kids get older, as they then go off to colleges, maybe they get become a professional athlete at some point?
Gosh, I'm hard pressed to find one difference, between coaching college players and pro players. In the same way that I have, there's not much difference than the way you parent, my 9-year-old to my 36-year-old, and all the ages in between, coach the same. The kids at home as the kids on the team, guys on the team. It's pretty much the same. The only one that really hits my brain, what's the difference coaching college players and pro players is I've got less of a chance to be their favorite coach or teacher that they've ever had when they get to the pro level.
Oh, that's funny.
Because they've already had they've good chance they've probably already had their, they had a great coach in college or high school or even as a pro player. But gosh, I'm sure going to try. I'm still sure going to give it everything I have because that's what I want to be. I want to be there. I want to be the best coach they ever had. I want to be the best teacher that they ever had. And, that to me is the opportunity that every coach and every teacher, every commander, has. You got a chance to be somebody's favorite coach that they've ever had. I mean, boy, that's worthy. That's worthy of attacking, and putting everything you have, pouring your heart and soul into, to being that person, well, I'm just a high school coach. Yeah, you're a high school coach with, you got 65 to 80 players that you could be their favorite coach. I mean, and you get to be the before they become a college coach, you got the advantage on me, man, that's overarching. You just take that one. That's the one I take the most serious as a college coach or a pro coach. And to put it like, the way I visualize it, it's it's just like being a college coach. When the parent, the family, one of my favorite days is when they drop their son off at college. First day, that orientation, and I just love to be there, and I watch it. I know it's going to happen. I've seen it 1,000 times, the kid, hey, I'm ready to go to college. I'm ready to move on. And the parents, there's going to be tears, especially from the mom. But like the moment happens when the car leaves and the youngster's still standing there. And it's probably one of the first times ever that the car leaves and you're not in it. And how do I know they're feeling that way? Because that's how I felt, when and the parents are looking back through in the rearview mirror and, they've just dropped off their prized possession. No matter how much they have, how much money they have or don't have, their most prized possession just got dropped off on my doorstep. And it's my overarching responsibility to return that young man the same quality young man that was dropped off on my doorstep, and hopefully even a little better.
You don't need to endure a grueling 6-month selection course to be that warrior. You don't need to leave your family for months at a time to be that warrior. You don't need to crawl out of the ocean, be inserted behind enemy lines in the middle of the night, or breach doors, not knowing what waits on the other side, to be that warrior. You don't need to put your body and mind through things most people could never imagine to be that warrior. You don't even need to wear a uniform to be that warrior. You just need to stand behind those who do. And then you too can confidently say,
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am. I am.
Speaking of quality, how do you draft or recruit, whatever you want to call it, for character? How do you assess that? Because this is one of these things when I watch professional sports, there's plenty of like really top tier, incredible athletes whose character, I look at him and I go, I would never want that guy on my team. I don't care how good he is. He's selfish, like whatever it is, where it's just that type of person. How do you assess that? And like, how much of that matters to you? And how do you assess for it? And how much can you control then too? Can it be like, well, maybe we can turn him around, or we may, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Now here's another difference. Between, does that matter? Yes, that matters. Like, I don't even know. I'm not even smart enough to know how much that matters. I mean,
I think it matters a lot.
It matters a lot. I mean, who are they? I mean, how much drive they have. I mean, all the things, right between right and wrong. I mean, have they been are they, gosh, I mean, a lot of qualities you're trying to assess, that, you're trying to find out. And in college, I mean, the way I did it in college was I got to know the parents. I wanted to know everybody that, had, what had been poured into them. since the time they could toddle. And you can't really tell that from the player, a meeting, that kind of thing. I mean, sometimes the youngsters don't even know who they are yet. They say the brain doesn't totally till they're 25 and all that science. But and sometimes they're shy. They don't know what to say. Sometimes they don't know who they are quite yet. But boy, most high in the 90s, high 95%. You can really tell by what kind of discipline there's been in the home, what kind of what things, work ethic has been poured into the young man. Now there's things that could be on record, of any kind of lying, stealing, or cheating that you just wouldn't engage. There's things that that's not for us. At the pro level, then they're thoroughly, guys are thoroughly background checked. There's people that are scouts that are scouting that on a daily basis, and they're around them every single day, or not every day, but multiple times. In their college environment. And the other great one that I've always really used is, and it works both in college, as a college coach recruiting a high school player, or a pro coach talking, about drafting a college player, is I talk to the coaches. I talk to their high school coach. Tell me about Johnny.
Yeah.
Tell me about Johnny.
Right.
And there's two responses that you get. It's they'll sit up in their chair, kind of roll. I'll tell you about Johnny. He is the finest player I have coached in a 20-year coaching period, and he's an even better person. He's the kind of young man that I would want to marry my daughter. Or you'll get kind of rolled back in the chair. Well, he is tremendous athlete. He is. And I think, when he gets in your program and he's around your team and your discipline, and get him in a good locker room, that I think he'll be able to flourish, because the guy's not going to totally, throw somebody under the bus, but pretty much you get those two responses.
Yeah.
But there's no look him in the eye test. You gotta, I've heard people talk about that. Well, I don't see it. Well, you got to look in his eye, you gotta kind of dig, you got to recruit. And, part of that is,
How do you turn great players into championship players, right? I mean, obviously it's about the team, but I think of like Justin Herbert on your team, great player, right? Fantastic quarterback. How do you take him from being great quarterback to championship quarterback? Is it just the team around him? Is it some leveling up of his skills? Is it mindset of getting him to believe? Is it all of those things? Is there something specific in there that you got to focus on?
Not with Justin Herbert. No, he is, no, there's, no, he is, he's, in my opinion, the best there ever was.
Wow. That's high praise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just going to be completely honest with you that, it's all that good. We should all aspire to be, to have his everything, talent, the work ethic, the toughness, there's a talent. Toughness is a talent. And, he's got it. Really, I come to work every day, just trying to measure up, and, the rest of all of us that he's counting on, coaches and playmakers on offense, let's get up to his level. That motivates me every day, to come in here and be be good enough to coach Justin Herbert.
Wow.
But, yeah, great. Champions. It really just improvement. Will lead to success. That's a theory that I have. And better today than yesterday. Better tomorrow than today. Every day that I leave here, did I do enough? I want to make sure that that I can answer that question. And good test for that is, like, am I exhausted? When my head hits the pillow, how fast do I go to sleep? If it hits it and I go right to sleep, I know I did it. I sweated, I worked, my muscles ache, my brain, is almost got a cramp in it, because the thought's so hard that that's the test. If it takes me more than about 10 seconds to fall asleep, I probably didn't do everything that I could have that day.
For me, it's thinking. I'm usually thinking about things. That's what's keeping me from falling asleep. Not that I'm not tired. It's just, I'm just, the brain just kind of keeps going. So I know you got to go in a couple minutes, so just have someone wave at me or whatever when you got to bounce off here. I'm going to try to get as many more in here before we get kicked off here. So, and I'll ask some kind of specific football ones of just kind of top of mind for stuff. I'm curious what you think about, this is a big topic, but about all the betting in sports now.
Betting.
All the sports betting that has come into play, because when I was growing up, gambling was like, it was like a sin. It was like, Vegas was Sin City. It was, illegal most places. And now it's so pervasive. It's like, it's on, it's advertised in the commercials. They're like, hey, you basically make sure you're betting on this game. What do you think about that and how much that's become part of sports?
Yeah. I don't think about it much. I really don't. I mean, personally, I just, I was just never really good at it.
Me neither.
When I played cards, you always play cards, and everybody thinks they're a good card player. And, I realized I wasn't, I'm about as transparent as a baggie, when it comes to playing that stuff or going to playing the blackjack or the things like that. I just hated losing money. And, so I pretty much, I'll bet you, but like, let's bet a milkshake. I'll bet you a chocolate milkshake, that's as high as I'll go there, but yeah, what else?
What do you do to try and just,
what do I think of people that are good at it?
No, it's just more of it's just one of these things that I see it's become so embedded into all of this stuff. And it's an interesting turn that I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. I'm all for freedom and do whatever you want, but on some level I'm just like, I don't love this. What do you do? Just,
I don't know. I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't either. I guess I don't have a hot take
That's
on
fine.
it or whatever. I mean, not gonna change my life at all. I mean,
True.
we got to go win a game,
So,
and
just in terms of other straight voltage though, like what do you do about that? I mean, like once you're in a position like yours, there's a lot of like eyeballs on you. There's a lot of commentary coming at you, right? There's people that are like saying something great about you one week and then they're trashing you the next week. Do you just completely drown any of that out? Do you pay attention to any of it? Or is it just like, I don't have time for that, I'm not even going to look at it? Does it affect you at all?
What
just
does
the commentary, like, just
people,
like, pundits and like social media.
It's like the only thing that, I mean, people watching. Yeah. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. It's where the magic happens. It's like real time, you don't know what's going to happen, like opposing wills, meeting each other. And, this could go one way or the other. And you make a play as a player in that moment. It's it's just one of the greatest feelings And you feel it in coaching too. Like, and the best it is like when it happens in another man's stadium, where you,
yeah.
you beat the other team, or your one-on-one matchup. And then you also beat their crowd.
Yeah.
And, maybe the officials had made a couple bad calls, that went against you. You thought they did. Well, we beat that too. We overcame that. And if you could just throw in the elements, like some snow or some rain, some real wind, and you overcome that too. I have found nothing in my life that has made me feel more like a man than to do that. And to have that, the everybody experiencing that in real time, that's magic. Yeah. That is like straight up magic to me. The internet, I just don't think it's a good idea to read about yourself on the internet.
Yeah, I agree.
That doesn't go too well. Especially if it's negative. Then I'll just avoid it like the plague. Back to gambling.
That's all right.
It's like I don't. Who am I to tell other people what to do? You just kind of feel like I don't know what the word would be, but
no, I know what you're saying.
Meddling, I think would be the word. It's like politics. I get to have my own politics and my own religion in my own home.
Mm-hmm.
I get to do that. As a leader of my family, along with my wife, we get to do that. So I don't feel the need to tell somebody else what they should do or what they shouldn't do or how they should think or what they do. But gosh darn, man, you bet your truck on a game and you lose. I mean, that's on you. Yeah, I mean, that's dumb. That's dumb. But I guess that's my opinion on all that stuff.
Just real quick on the family thing. Was there a moment ever between John leaving the Ravens and going to Giants where you were like, hey, John, you want to come over to the Chargers, like work together kind of thing? Was that ever in the conversation?
I knew like my own name. He would be coaching somewhere in the NFL then this season.
Yeah.
And I just was hoping it would be in the NFC and not the AFC. That was all I called him 20 minutes after I had heard, and he had already spoken to 17.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
In the first 20 minutes. And, I was like, man, I was, kind of reading about my brother and all these things that he had accomplished and done, incredible. That many wins, that many playoff appearances, Super Bowl champion, just, like historic stuff, like one of the best to ever coached against my brother. And it was just nice to see him getting that kind of recognition. I mean, he's the best coach I know. So now I knew he'd be coaching somewhere.
Yeah.
And I knew, that he'd be attacking it with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. And it's, tremendous thing for the New York Giants.
Speaking of gambling in the NFC, like when you're looking to this season, okay, Super Bowl in February, and obviously it's the Chargers on one end of the field. Like, is there a team in the NFC you're looking at? Like, that's the ones, those are the ones to watch coming up, or the ones that scare you the most, or you think have the best potential? Or is there a group of them where it's like, it's going to be one of those guys?
I'll be praying and pulling hard that it's the Giants.
Yeah, I imagine.
I will be. I definitely will be, and praying and pulling hard and working hard that it'll be the Chargers on the other sideline.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
I just have so much respect for the military. And you brought up Bo Schembechler earlier, and Woody Hayes was the other coach of that era. I mean, it was the influence we had as youngsters coming up. I mean, there was very much like, a battalion's what, 1,000, and a football team's about 100. So I mean, it's us in football, us in the respect and really like the inspiration that we get, and just a lot of the way we do things has come from the military. Jim Minnick, who was a colonel in the Marines, we grew up together. I really watched his career as a Marine, constantly talking about the comparisons, football to the military. And so just know us in football. I mean, we
For sure.
we have the utmost respect, and Navy SEAL, spent a lot of time living in San Diego and Coronado in particular.
Yep, I did too.
Where the SEALs are. Yes. And had a chance to, know a lot of those guys over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you the question that I've always asked them. Okay. So can we not provide the SEALs with T-shirts? Why do they have to run around Coronado, jogging all around with no shirts?
I think that's a conscious.
Can we get them some shirts?
I think that's a conscious choice for obvious reasons. Yeah. I think that's a conscious choice. For 250 years, our nation has persevered and thrived because of the sacrifices made by those who defend it. Navy SEALs are the tip of that spear. Support them by becoming a $25 per month recurring donor to the Navy SEAL Foundation and receive our limited edition 250th U.S. anniversary t-shirt. Go to NavySealFoundation.org/250 to join the mission. Hey, on that kind of shared culture point, here's a question for you in terms of just kind of culture. There's a lot of teams out there, and I won't name any names, but you look across professional sports, there's teams that are sort of stuck in like a losing culture, right? They've lost for so long that it's like become embedded in them, in their fan base. And look, I'm a Patriot. I grew up in Boston. So like I was a Patriots fan where it had to flip, right? Like it had to become a winning culture. And I grew up when the Red Sox were cursed, right? They were with Curse the Bambino and we could never win, and that had to flip. If you had to go into an organization like that, how do you start to manifest that kind of a flip? Where does that start? Because it's something, I think it's really challenging to do, and I don't know how that happens from the ground up.
Yeah. I mean, it's really about the players. It's the fighters. You got to recruit better. You got to coach them better. Those are the only two ways. There's no great coaches without good players or great players. No great coaches without great players. No good coaches without good players. But you just work. And like I said earlier, improvement will lead to success. You got to get competitive. Okay, we haven't won a game, it was really clear to me when I went to Stanford, they'd won one game the year before.
Yep, right. Great example.
In Michigan, to some extent, they had won 5, but there's games where you just lose them by 20, or 50, at Stanford. And hey, we got to get competitive here. We can't lose by. So that was our goal. We got to get competitive. Step 1, get competitive. Step 2 will be win a game. Step 3 will be win multiple games in a row, and then step 4 will be win the championship. So we gotta take it in steps. And the greatest piece of advice I've ever gotten came from my mother, Jackie Harbaugh, which was take it one play at a time, one game at a time, one day at a time, and eventually the cream's going to rise to the top.
Yeah.
So let's get to work, boys.
Yeah. You made a decision too, like after the 2024 season where the team was kind of banged up, and you did some different stuff off season in terms of the training and things like that. What was that like specifically? What were you doing differently, and how did that then impact the team and the play in the following season?
Just in general, do things different. And, if there's, even if like, well, just, you're always trying to do something better.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I mean, there's good, better, best. And, we're working every day to try to improve something. There hasn't been anything, to fix here, because this has been, as I mentioned, just an incredible organization with incredible players. But where can we make something a little bit better? And that was a kind of a principle of like, even if something's not going to make us better, but it's going to make us, hey, we could do it this way, we could do it this way. There's two ways of doing this. Then I always like to do it just a little bit different. So what we were doing, doesn't become stale, like burnt meat or overripe fruit or those kind of things. But yeah, mainly we're just, searching for the better way to do something. And it's, you say, is that a risk? Is that a risk? Well, if it's a risk that's going to it's going to lose the team or, get players hurt, if it's has anything to do with lying, cheating, or stealing, we just wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Because that, but yeah, this might make us better, and it might make us better in these, these three ways. I don't know that much about real estate, but triple net, when I can win something triple net, something that's good for the team, good for the individual, good for the fan base, those three things would happen. Yeah, we're doing it. And if something does happen, like there is some unforeseen thing that happened, then we can always change it back, because it's not a risk that's going to be life altering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it could make us better. There's a slight chance it could hurt us. And if it does, then we'll but it's not going to be life altering, Yeah, we got a chance for triple net, or, we may not get buy-in, Hey, we may not get buy-in if we do it this way. Okay, that's a risk. And if that happens, we'll change it back. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm a risk taker, not a big risk taker.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you a chocolate milkshake kind of risk.
Just not a truck
that I take, but yeah, but we're searching every single day to try to just be better. Like I said, better today than we were yesterday, better tomorrow than we were today. But, what specific change, I think there's some little ones, but probably just in, more the way we, yeah.
Do you have a specific moment from your coaching career that was like the biggest challenge for you, where there was something that was like, this is the biggest challenge I've faced when you think back on your career?
No, not really. The biggest, but they all seem, I could go back to CCS basketball, playing Final Four, in Maples Pavilion for the Palo Alto Vikings. That seemed like the biggest thing that could ever happen, beating USC. We were 42-point underdogs, and we won that game, largest upset in the history of college football. Lost a Super Bowl. Practically every win I have, I get this feeling of joy, like, we may never have a bigger win than this one. This ranks right up there in the same ballpark with as much joy as I've ever had in my whole life. And then you come back the next day, and it's, well, we won. Let's make darn sure we do that again. Let's give it everything we got. Or we lost. Let's make darn sure that never happens again. And you give it everything you got. So that's, yeah, I just feel like if you just give it your very best, make sure you give whatever you're doing your very best. And that way you're going to feel good about what you accomplish. I mean, that's like, you wanted a list earlier? I'll give you a list of 5. That one, number 1, make sure you give it your very best. Then you'll feel good about what you accomplish. 2, get better. You're allowed to get better. You are allowed to try. And it is noticed when you do. 3, treat others as you would want to be treated. No explanation needed. That's biblical. 4, never give up. Never give in. Never quit. Never tell yourself no. There's people that get paid to tell you no. There are people getting paid to try to beat you. Whatever you do, let's not beat ourselves, and let's never give up. You've lost. And number 5, I like to say number 5 is do all those 4 things, no matter fill in the blank. How you feel, whether you feel like you were getting enough respect, or you were disrespected, or you're getting enough credit or not getting enough credit, or fill in the blank, whatever emotion or circumstance that you have. And I think if you do that, then like I said in number 1, then you're giving it your very best, and you'll feel good about what you accomplish.
The mission doesn't end when a warrior returns home. Injuries, trauma, and challenging transitions often follow, well after the uniform comes off. Donor funding helps provide medical care, mental health support, and long-term recovery when it's needed most. You're not just a donor, you are that warrior. Learn how you can get involved at NavySealFoundation.org. Outside of your immediate family and coaches like Coach Jim Beckler, who are your heroes? People like you didn't work for, or haven't worked for, or didn't know even, like across sports or history even, like the people you look up to and you're like taking something away from them, and why?
There would be that would be a very, very long list.
Top 3.
Top 2, I'll give you the top 2. Joe Sapiti, Grandpa Joe, who lived to 98 and a half years old, who he had to drop out of school at 6th grade with school, and then he because he had to get a job and take care of his family, and big family as a 6th grader, and then he went to was able to work a job as a mechanic in a garage. And then he was taught how to be a mechanic. He went to trade school to be a mechanic. He became, for long, one of the best mechanics in Cleveland, Ohio. And he was teaching a course there, and got his own filling station. And then the filling station burned down. He lost the filling station somehow. Didn't have insurance, and then he had to build himself back up. He's working that job. Then he's working as a landscaper. Then he bought his own piece of land with money that he saved, and he created Sapiti Nursery. Both of his son, Uncle Bob, went to college. My mom, Jackie Harbaugh, went to college. First 2 that ever gone to the college, and in that family. And then on the other side, Bill Harbaugh worked as a brakeman, worked on the railroad, for his whole career, and finally became a engineer. And the stories and the blue collar shirt that they would wear. My grandpa Joe had one that said Joe right there, and Bill Harbaugh, had one that said Bill. And it just made me, just think that I want to honor that. I want to honor those people. And we all got them. Everybody, no matter. I mean, maybe it was your parents that had to do the blue collar job, or the 2 jobs or the 3 jobs. it puts you in a position to go to college. I mean, that's your best chance of success is education. But maybe it was your grandparents, maybe there's some lucky people. There's their great, but hey, we all got it somewhere along that legacy. Somebody did the hard work, the dirty work to put a roof over and the lights on and food on the table. And, here's Jimmy Harbaugh coming along. I mean, I'm on third base, because of what my dad did, my grandfather did. I'm in college, and I got, some really good genetics that made me a good athlete. And there's a lot of ways to get home from third. There's a pass ball, there's a wild pitch, there's a hit, there's a sac fly. There's a lot of ways to get there. So, by gosh, I'm getting home. I am going to get home. Because I want it so bad, but I also, I want to make my dad proud and my mom proud and Joe and Jesse Sapiti and Bill and Marie Harbaugh, that ones that I know that made it happen, so I could have this kind of, and I want to pay that forward to my kids, so.
What,
those would be two. But I mean,
man,
just incredible people. Incredible.
You're
people.
so family oriented. I love it. It's awesome. I love that, that aspect of you. It's so great. And I think it's just such a great message out there for people too. What,
faith, family, football, and the same. I mean, I have two great loves. I have two great loves in my life: my family at home and my family at work. And that's just lucky, just very, very lucky to be surrounded by that kind of love and be have the job that I have and so much gratitude. That would be the big thing. I mean, so much gratitude to God to be blessed, and it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, blessed from God is as good as it can possibly get. And I want to do so, but also, I want to do a good job, and I don't want to ever go home to my family and tell them, hey, I don't have this job anymore because this person outworked me and now we don't have it anymore. I mean, that to me would be man, as Bo Schembechler would say, it would be better off to not been born than to fumble a ball in a football game. Gosh, I mean, it almost, that just heard that in my, it'd be better off to not be born to have somebody come in and outwork me and beat us, because I got outworked. I guess both those, I don't know. Maybe I need some psychiatry. Maybe
I don't think
I
so.
need some therapy to unpack all this stuff. That basement in Jack Harbaugh's basement created this. I guess it's a blessing and a curse.
I know you got a roll here, so just last couple things here.
I got nothing else good. I don't think.
No, this is great. It's great. Thanks for spending so much time with me. I'm just curious, is there something specific that you think turns a great player into a great coach? Because you've done both those things, but there's a lot of great players out there that would not be great coaches. And there's a lot of great coaches out there that maybe weren't even great players. So is there a commonality there, or is there something about someone that makes them both, like, exceptional at both?
No, I don't know what that is. I don't have, I mean, there's great coaches that have come from, all different paths. I mean, there's some coaches that, played high school, were great pro coaches or college coaches. They're great. Some guys that didn't even play in high school.
Yeah.
Not too many. I can't think of anybody that really didn't, but there's got to be somebody that didn't even play high school ball. But usually somebody has some kind of reference to their sport. They played some degree, some level of so they, when they're teaching it, they got that recall of, this is how the position the body will be in, or the mindset or something. So, but it doesn't have to be. They didn't have to be a great player. They didn't because been proven. I mean, people can come from all different types of. And I think there's some guys that would be great coaches that don't even know it. That they would be great coaches. I just think like Top Gun Maverick. I watched that movie
So
and I go,
great.
that's me. I'm Top Gun Maverick. I was a great, pilot, and I could be a great coach. And he didn't even think, hey, I'm a pilot.
Right.
I'm not a teacher, but he was a great teacher.
Yeah.
He ended up being a great teacher. So I think there's maybe a lesson there for guys that that were really good, really good players. They can be really good coaches too.
Yep. What are what's your top quote? Words to live by. Do you have one?
Number one, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added on, added to you. Second would be attack each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. That's not of this world. That's otherworldly. Next would be, and these are my dad's.
I was curious, are these originals or is this, you got this from somebody else?
The first one was not original. I did not.
Well, the very first one, of course. Yeah, I know that one.
Number two, attack each day with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. That's Jack Harbaugh. Who's got it better than us? The answer is nobody. That is also Jack Harbaugh. And the only Jim Harbaugh part of that quote is the next part. Hey, you know who could possibly have it better than us? Who? Future us. So that's mine. Those would be the top three.
What about a last thing here? Book recommendations. Do you have like favorite books where you'd be like, everyone needs to read these books?
There's some real ifs there in future us. If we don't get on some bullsmith, if we don't quit, if we give it our very best, if we get better, then we got a chance to be, future us.
Right.
Sorry.
No. I was just saying book recommendations. Always looking for what someone do you have a top book like you always recommend to people, or a top couple of books like here's the books that like drive me?
Oh yeah, I do. I have a top the Bible. And I've read it cover to cover twice in my life, and it is the big biblical things. That's the word of God. And then also I have this where I just football, and I can make analogies. I even I go so far as to think if Jesus came back to earth, now, hey, would he be a Hall of Fame coach? Yes. Would he be a 5-star player? Absolutely, yes. I mean, he's the ultimate tone setter, the ultimate example setter. I mean, the toughest. And I think also that he would probably use sports analogies. It wouldn't all be agricultural. There would be,
sure. Yes,
there would be, and that those things are always going through my mind. I love thinking of it that way. One story in particular, where they're, where the vineyard owner, is saying to, get rid of that tree, I think it was a fig tree or some kind of fruit tree, not producing any fruit. And, the caretaker, says, let me prune it, let me hoe it, let me add some manure to it. And then if it's not producing fruit in a year, then we'll pull it up and we'll throw it into the fire, and I'm like, man, there's the owner of the team telling me and I'm the coach saying, okay, I'm going to get this tree and I'm going to prune it. And I'm going to, coach it, and, see if we can't get it to produce fruit. And other ones too, I like to say, as a football player, you'll be known by your talent and your effort. just like a tree, just like a fruit tree. Not shall a bad tree produce good fruit, and not shall a good tree produce bad fruit. You'll be known by your fruit as a football player, by your talent and your effort. You will be known, and on and on and on. So, and my second favorite book is Old Man in the Sea, by Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, sure.
And I've even written a kind of ode to football from that book. I call it a day in football. It's really just based on everything that that's going on in that book. The struggle. There's one line in there. What could a man endure? What could he endure? I don't think he can endure. I don't think I could endure an eye being taken out of my head like the fighting cocks can. What can I endure? I think about that in football. Yeah, I don't think I could get an eye out and keep playing, but other things I could, and have, like unless there's a bone sticking out, you're not getting me out on this field, off of this field. It's going to take a stretcher to get me off of this field, and I'm just, so those would be my two recommendations.
That's man, that book, Old Man in the Sea, I haven't heard about that book. Someone hasn't said that title to me in probably 35 years, something like that.
Just Ernest Hemingway.
I know the book. I probably read it in high school, but I need to go back
and read it.
What a
writer, right? I
mean,
he was one of my favorite writers. Just clearly.
Yep. Simple writing.
Concise, clean, the way he talks. And it's so good, so powerful.
Thanks for listening to On the X, the official podcast of the Navy SEAL Foundation and an Ironclad original series. Learn more at NavySealFoundation.org or text On the X to 60104. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.